Okay, I have Katrina here, and Katrina is a holistic reproductive practitioner in British Columbia. And I'm really happy to share her with you so you can learn how she is using her holistic reproductive practitioner skills, maybe a little bit about the history of your work because you're not new to this field. You took by the moon training to add on to what you were already doing. And I would love to hear how you are of service in your community because all of the students that I work with kind of offer this in their own unique way. So I'm just really excited to learn more about what you're doing now, to catch up with you and to share you with our viewers.
Yeah, thank you.
So how
It's
are you
fun
doing?
because I'm well. I'm doing well. Yeah, life has its usual highs and lows, but I'm in a good energetic space right now. And it's funny because I think we did one of these chats at the very beginning when I started the HRP program. So it's fun to kind of complete it with another one.
I think this was a great idea, and I'm really glad that you were happy to come back and chat again because you kind of probably had an idea of what you were getting into, obviously, because you connected with it and you signed up. But now that you've been through it, um, is it different than what you thought it would be? Does your work look different than you originally envisioned? What are you doing? How's that going?
Yeah, it's cool. So I was a doula before I took this training. So I already was supporting people through their birth experiences and pregnancy. And I took this training to just explore it deeper. I know that it felt like I was kind of a hip squeeze and cool cloth on the forehead doula, and I knew that wasn't enough. I wanted to go deeper and kind of support people on the holistic journey. So with what was happening spiritually and emotionally and mentally and all the things. And that's definitely happened with this training. It's been amazing to be able to kind of meet people where they're at and explore with them whatever fears are there and help them walk through that and release it in whatever way feels right for them, either in pregnancy or during the birth process itself, even, and then postpartum as well. And one great tool for that is, of course, Reiki, which I had taken the first level of Reiki training before, but kind of fizzled out with it. So it was nice to revamp that and get it really working in my life and then for other people in my life. And then reflexology as well. Like it's so lovely to visit someone who's just had a baby and just rub their feet as they feed their baby and tell them they're doing wonderful. And yeah, I just love that tool or, that practice of taking care of people.
I was a reflexologist before I was a doula. So it's really
Oh, yeah.
interesting for me to talk to people who were doulas and then added reflexology. So for me, I can't imagine doing postpartum visits without reflexology. I do, I don't do reflexology every single postpartum visit, but it really feels like that is the value. It just gives this big extra piece. You can sit
Mhm.
with someone and talk to them and answer their questions and kind of follow up and help them process. But when you're doing it while you have their feet in your hands, it adds this element. Yeah, I wonder, do you feel like your postpartum visits are so much more valuable now?
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel a little bit insecure without the reflexology at postpartum visits, or does it, I don't know what that feels like.
Yeah,
For
it's
me,
different.
it felt like
It's
something was missing with it.
exactly, exactly. And especially, I'm a very hands-on doula at births. So I'm just like, I call it the 24-hour massage. So I'm constantly like rubbing and squeezing and whatever they need, doing hair, whatever it is. And so it's different when you're at a postpartum visit and it's not as obvious to like go ahead and be hands-on and give them that comfort, except if you have this reflexology, like, oh, how about I rub your feet? That's an easy way to be like, I just want to touch and comfort you because your body's been through so much and it needs so much care and attention now.
And don't they love it?
Oh, yes. Yeah. And you can like sit there and talk and watch them feed their baby from across the room, but it's just not as connecting an experience.
To have it right in your home, so for people who aren't holistic reproductive practitioners and haven't had one, imagine that you're like day 3 with your baby, you're still, you're in your pajamas, like you're not fit for like going out and receiving service, but to have somebody come into your home at that stage of the experience and be able to like give you a full 1 hour body treatment while you're breastfeeding, and it doesn't matter, like you can just take care of your baby as you were, and you don't even have to get up to like see us out the door.
No way.
It's best.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the things I love most about being a holistic reproductive practitioner as well. It just seems like such an important, beautiful offering. So I'm loving that so many of you are doing that as well. So what else is, you're talking about how great it is for you to have these additional offerings, but having been a doula first, and now you're a holistic reproductive practitioner, what are you noticing is different in the experience of your clients with these added tools?
Let's see. Well, they definitely appreciate the reflexology, and a lot of people are curious about the Reiki as well, and they notice, like if we do a full Reiki session in pregnancy or whatever, they feel that, especially for people who are fearful, if they had, say, a traumatic first birth experience and now they're pregnant and facing this big event that's going to happen again, and what's it going to be like, to have a Reiki session or two that just can release that and lift it and make it so much less heavy, and just feel like, oh, wow, okay, this is what we're doing. And then they have space to explore how it can be in a positive way, or yeah,
Nice.
that's been amazing to see just how simple it is,
Yeah.
but how effective.
Powerful, but subtle. It's amazing when we don't find that very often, that something can be so powerful and effective and yet so subtle.
Exactly.
And non-invasive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I love it too.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you're fully immersed and applying all of your skills, what is your favorite part about being a holistic reproductive practitioner? What's your favorite part of the work?
Let's see, what is it? I like the surprises. Like the other day, a doula friend said to me, hey, Katrina, I feel like you could host like a healing circle for birth workers. I've supported her in a couple of Reiki sessions for something else. And she said, like, we need this. Like, we are going to birth after birth after birth and seeing horizontal violence and just being in the system of birth the way it is. It's hard for us to carry that for ourselves, and a lot of it for our clients. Like, sometimes our clients come out of a birth like, okay, that was good. And we're like, wow, okay, I'm glad you feel that way, but it's heavy for me. So that was a neat surprise for her to recognize, like, I'm someone who could hold space for a circle of birth workers who do this again and again and need somewhere to let that go and make it not so heavy going into the next birth they're going to support someone at. So
What a
that was neat.
blessing.
Yeah, just something I wouldn't have thought of, but it sounds like, yes, I would totally love to just do that. And
Oh, I hope you do
continue.
that. And I hope you
Yeah,
can tell us about it. Obviously not the intimate sacred details, but
yeah,
the feedback and how it feels to be that space holder for that particular group, because it's just, you can change, you can add or support, or we do change the experience of people at their birth, which can, and postpartum, the conception journey, all of it. Like, I do believe that this work facilitates a shift in people, which means their life is going to be different, which means potentially their parenting or their babies are going to be a little bit different had we not been there. Like, there's something that happens for sure. To think that now you might do that for a group of birth workers means that you'll have an impact on all of the births that they'll attend, right? Because they'll go in a little bit different. They'll go in a little bit lighter. And so the support that they offer will be a little different. The ripples from this, they just keep expanding out. And I love that. I just love this vision of you holding space for them that way, and the amazing benefit for your whole community. You're in Surrey, is that right?
yeah,
Surrey, BC? Yeah.
Yes. So I've got doula friends all over the lower mainland here, Vancouver and Burnaby and Abbotsford. And yeah, there's a
Oh,
lot of us.
please do that. Please do that
Yeah.
circle. I think that's beautiful. And you could do it online even now. I think
Yeah, I think we'll
it's
do
good
it that
for,
way, at least for now.
yeah,
Hmm.
going with the flow of things.
Yeah.
Um, is there anything that surprised you about this training and this work now that you're at this end of it?
Hmm. I think how much extra there was. Like I knew we were getting this course and the Reiki and reflexology training, but how much you just jump on with like, oh, I was inspired by this and I want to share it with you. So you'll have a spontaneous meeting where we can all join and learn from you. Or latest was the manifestation group where you walked us through a month following the moon of how to manifest things you want in your life. And that's just lovely. Like so many surprises with extra learning, and as well the community, like how I didn't know, none of us knew what last year was going to be like. And it was so great to have this community and your support of like, okay, whatever you guys need, go ahead, take your time with whatever is happening. Like a lot of us were suddenly at home with kids when we weren't expecting to be and fell behind on our work. But it was such a lovely thing to have like your theme of kind of be gentle with yourself. That's what stuck out to me, of just be gentle with yourself. Like don't try to do everything for everyone right now because you can't. So, and then having the community of our check-ins and our regular class meetings was just such a lovely gift.
I've been reflecting on the last year. So at the time that Katrina and I are making this video, it's early March of 2021. And so we're coming around full circle to the beginning of a lot of us being told we have to stay at home, or non-essential workers not being able to do their job, doulas no longer attending births at hospitals in some places. I don't think that's been the case where you are, is it?
We had it for the first month, I think, where it was kind of iffy, but then we were recognized as a part of the healthcare team. So
Oh, I
so
wish.
grateful for that.
So good. So
Mhm.
amazing for everyone in your community. But
Mhm.
at this time, because we're coming back to the anniversary of the beginning of this, I've been reflecting on the year a little bit. Um, and we really haven't been able to see people the way that we did prior to the pandemic. And yeah, the By the Moon community, you all, I know that you're giving credit a little bit for the space holding that I did, but it was mutually beneficial. You were
Mhm.
my people, you were my touchstone for like still being connected to the world. And space holding went in all directions. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the group that we have now went through this at the time that we did, because it's just another part of our education. I think that every time we offer training, it's going to be a little bit different. And for a lot of people, we went through this collective trauma together, which is such a unique thing. It does obviously happen at other times in history, but to go through the waves of what trauma can feel like, the freeze response, not being able to do anything, or um, all kinds of things, and being able to witness how everybody is going through that. It was just another layer of the education, of the learning, by experiencing it firsthand and then holding space for each other and doing healing support the whole
No
time.
kidding.
you know
Yeah.
yeah, no, I really appreciate you. Kind of, I love that you appreciated some of those extra things, but I got a lot out of them as well. I knew that going through this winter for myself, I was going to have to be very careful and very proactive to maintain my wellness, because it would be a particularly challenging winter. I feel really good. And I know that that's also because of the interactions I've had with the By the Moon community. So definitely mutually beneficial. And it's been a lot of fun. And I just love having people who are interested in the same things that I am, like manifestation or distance healing, and adapting to this online virtual work. How do we
Mhm.
continue to make money when we're told sometimes we can't be in person together? And so we've all been really creative, I think. And distance healing now is from my perspective, I never really enjoyed offering distance healing before the pandemic. It was something that I had done, but it always felt like a little less than an in-person session for me as
Okay.
the practitioner. And now I feel like we've got that little push to it's better, it's awesome now. I think I love doing it with everybody now, and you're all doing it with each other and exchanging sessions. I think
Mhm.
it's been a great experience. There's been a lot of positive that's come out of this for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the other things that I wanted to talk to you about is it's so great that you're still able to work at the hospitals through the pandemic when so many other places haven't been. I'm so happy for you. So speaking of the holistic model and the medical model coming together, how do you see the work that you offer filling some of those gaps in the medical system when it
Mm.
comes to reproductive healthcare in general, or birth or fertility, any of those pieces?
A lot of different ways. Let's see. I'll start with I recently got a new, excuse me, nurse practitioner. And so I've been getting my health all checked on like a good adult, and found out my iron stores were low. And then one of her first kind of ideas or suggestions was to have an IUD put in so I would stop bleeding. Like she said, often if people get those, their cycles will just stop. And to me, that was just so backwards. Like I don't know. First of all, I'm sure there's food I can eat that will help me get more iron, and teas I can drink and so on. And I enjoy. I've like part of this by the moon journey has been like learning about my cycle and kind of connecting to it and seeing it as a way of learning about what's going on in my body and even emotionally and so on. So to just have the answer be, well, let's stop that. Like so strange. And I'm sure a lot of people, when faced with like, here's the issue, here's the solution, that's what they hear and that's what they accept. And so it's so necessary for people to be out there saying, well, actually, here are many other ideas you can try before maybe you have to do this other medical option.
Yeah.
That's where that has come up for me recently of we need alternatives. We need to know there's a different path to wellness.
The difference is healing. There's not a healing in the IUD. That,
Oh,
it doesn't look at, well, why is the iron, it does. So why is the iron low? Well, bleeding.
hmm.
Well, if bleeding is an issue, if there's like an excess of flow, for example, or periods that are too frequent, um, there are other solutions, like
Mhm.
why don't we look at the cause of excess bleeding or cycles that are too short? And like you said, um, nutrition. How do
Yeah,
how do we compensate for it? So
exactly. And I was having shorter cycles and did do some of the things we've learned to, I did some vaginal steaming and some castor oil packs, and it's lengthened out again. So that's, yeah, one way that just an easy thing you can do at home to take care of your body and help it do what it needs to do in a healthy way.
yeah, I've definitely also had personal experience with when my cycles were starting to get really short because I'm getting older. I was like, this is one more period I have to have in a year. And when you have heavier flow, like that's a lot. It makes a difference. It's the recovery time in between flows is shorter. And so that recovery time, so the time in between flows is when we want to build up our iron stores again and all of those minerals and things and nourish ourselves for the next flow, which I also see as
Mhm.
like a cleansing.
Mhm.
Like it needs to come out and be fresh,
Mhm.
which is why those things that you're talking about, like the steaming or abdominal massage, castor oil packs, are really important. But I've been having regular reflexology sessions.
Oh, nice.
And so that has lengthened my cycles, and I'm in sync with the full moon right now, right? So even just having the tools for ourselves is so beneficial so that we can be even better moms and partners because we feel well and we have energy. And yeah, I love being able to share that information with clients too, so they can just have more ease in their life. This doesn't have to be a burden. But you have to wonder, like when we just stop a menstrual flow, um, Yeah, like you said, you would lose touch with, is there health inside my body? It's such a window into, how's my liver doing and how is my hormonal balance, and am I overworking, or that rest time that we get every month, we're forced to take that
Yeah.
downtime because our energy is lower. It's like, well, maybe we need to have
No
rest time
kidding.
every month instead of go, go, go all month long, the masculine way. So
Yeah.
totally get that. What is the majority of the work that you're offering? Who are you working with the most? All of the practitioners that I work with, some get really fertility focused, some more on the menopause side. Like, what do you find right now fills the majority of your work? And is that the way that you want it, or is there something that you're looking to expand as you keep growing and moving along in this journey?
Yeah, there's the majority is still birth. So people are still mostly coming to me when they're pregnant at some point and asking if I can support them through their birth journey. And then there are a few, I've had people come to me for birth trauma healing, um, for their, yeah, births that they have experienced, and especially if they're pregnant going into a new birth. Um, I'm not sure like what I should look back at my notes of what I had imagined or envisioned. And I think that it feels to me right now anyway that it's exactly what I would want. Like there's kind of a lovely sprinkling of Reiki and reflexology people that will reach out, and nice surprise, but mostly it's like a steady one or so family per month of supporting them through their birth. And then the extra things like this birth workers circle. And also one thing I really want to do is like people who are going to begin menstruating soon, to support them in a circle of, I know you've kind of walked us through that, what that might look like, and it just so inspiring to get people who are just entering into that part of their lives to have this view of like, oh, I can take care of myself in all of these ways, and that's wonderful, and these are the different options for how I can whatever. It's I just am so excited about that one.
I,
um,
right, because here we are, maybe we won't age ourselves, but
I don't mind. I just turned 38.
yay! And we're really mastering our flows and understanding how these things work, as generally people, I find, get into this more after they've had their babies.
Oh,
And what could our experiences have been like if we learned how to read our flow, and the cycle length, and listen to our bodies and what it's telling us it needs from the beginning.
yeah.
you
No
know
kidding.
Maybe we wouldn't have to work. I personally have to work hard to maintain my wellness at this stage, as I'm 40. And I'm really happy to have the tools, and I am well, but it's maintenance. Like, it's not, for me, it's not healed and done. It's
Right.
continuous listening to my body and nurturing what it needs so that I can keep my uterus healthy and keep it for the rest of my life. Because I think I would be somebody who would probably face losing it, and probably soon, if I didn't have these tools.
No kidding.
But would I be there had I started these things as a little girl?
Yeah. No
How would
kidding.
my
And
experience have been different? It's been perfect for me, but that doesn't mean everybody has to have this journey.
yeah, or to accept like really painful periods as normal,
Oh,
or things like that, or to here's how to medicate your really painful period. Yeah.
what kinds of experiences have people missed out on because they didn't know that they didn't have to have painful periods? Like, how
Mhm.
many biological females had um, terrible pain when they were writing exams, or on
Mhm.
their wedding day, or like all of these different life events that we would experience differently, pain free.
Yes.
Because we don't have to have that pain, but most people don't know that.
Mhm.
I'm pain free. I'm so grateful to be
Yeah.
pain free. I've experienced both, very painful cycles and pain free cycles, but
Mhm.
yeah, pain is not one of the challenges that I deal with anymore. So I'm so,
Good.
yeah, we tolerate so much.
Yeah.
We don't have to. So I'm excited for you that you're going to start doing some of that work, helping other people kind of celebrate and honor this part of their life that happens every month.
Yes.
Have a different relationship with it from the beginning. So beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So how do people find you who are looking for Katrina's support in Surrey, British Columbia?
They can go to my website. It is cedarsistersdoula.com. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram, so it's at Cedar Sisters Doula on Instagram and Cedar Sisters Doula Care on Facebook.
Awesome.
Yeah, or you can walk in a local park and I'll probably be there.
I know, and I love seeing your pictures because I love your trees out west there. I have a little envy, but mostly just happiness for you because yeah, we share a mutual love of the trees for sure.
Yeah.
I have a really sad summer coming up on my street. I don't know, maybe I'll have to change my relationship with this, but here, I don't know if you have the same problem there. We have a problem with a pest. It's called the emerald ash borer.
Uh-oh.
And so it eats the insides of ash trees. And this winter has been an amazing year for this beautiful little bug. It is beautiful.
Oh.
There's a woman I met out east in New Brunswick who made jewelry out of these bugs because they're emerald green. Like they're beautiful little creatures.
Oh, wow.
They've had an amazing year. So have the woodpeckers who eat them, I think, but it's been a terrible year for the ash trees here. And the street that I live on, I didn't realize all of the mature trees, almost all of them are ash trees. The city is cutting them down. They all have orange spray paint on them right now.
No.
They have to come down. Like they're dead. The bark is off of the trees. It's been awful.
Yeah.
Good for the bugs, bad for the trees. So
Yeah.
I'm really sad about that. But I'm gonna do some tree planting this year and change my property, what it looks like. And the eastern white pine is my favorite. So
Nice.
we'll get some of those. They have the big long needles. Anyway, that was a bit of a tangent, but we love the trees. Your trees are cooler than mine, but they're all great. Your energy is wonderful. It's been lovely to share this time with you, Katrina, and to share you with the world. I hope that I have no doubt that your business will continue to expand and be abundant. And I also want to just take a minute to express my gratitude for you too. You're always, in my mind, you're known as one of the many, but you're definitely one who always shows up for other people in the By the Moon community to offer one-on-one healing when maybe group support isn't the best, most appropriate option for them. And that I really appreciate that because I can't be that for everybody. And I also love seeing people foster networks and relationships within the group as well. But I just want you to know how grateful I am that when I have reached out to you and been like, do you have space in your life to be a space holder for somebody in our group? And you've always said yes, which you don't have to. And then I always know like this person's in good hands, like they're going to have a great experience with you. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you want to say before we go? Anything else you want to share about what's coming up or?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, you keep doing what you do. Keep rubbing those people's feet with their babies, and I will talk to you again soon.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.